Hi, I'm Len Groom. Today we're at Gizmos with Greg Friedrich, and we're talking about the Mustang that we're getting ready to give away. This thing is just about finished. As you can see, it's sitting here behind me. And right now what I want to do is, Greg, we're going to talk about some of the things that we've done to this car and why we've done it. So we're going to give these guys a sneak peek into some of the decisions we've made and why we've done some of the things to this car that we've done. So we came to you with this car and said, here you go. We rolled it in. We rolled it in various parts and pieces and said, we want to build this car and we want to give it away for our devoted protection. What are the decisions that we had to make in order to get the build started?
So what type of car we were going to build? We were looking for a mid-70s muscle car that we wanted to make a pro touring car out of.
Okay, and pro touring, just for reference, speak to that just a little bit. Pro touring cars is what type of a build?
It's basically like a muscle car or something of that era that's built up, not only the engine, but the suspension and everything that goes along with it to meet today's standards, basically.
Okay. So where did we head right off the bat? We figured out pro touring, so we kind of understand what it's going to be. Where did we go from there?
Then it's the engine. What are we going to do with an engine? We got to figure out how much power we're going to make. The rest of the build pretty much evolves around that.
So the engine drives the build.
The engine drives the build, yes. Everything is engineered and built around it. You got to figure out how much power you're going to have to accommodate all the rest of the car.
What did we end up making here?
About 430 horse, 440 torque.
Out of a 351 Cleveland.
Out of a 351 Cleveland on pump gas fuel.
Not a bad number. That's a decent number.
That's a real good number, yeah.
So okay, so there you go. You just set the bar. We got a 400 and some odd horsepower engine. Then where'd we go?
You go towards the rest of the components, your suspension, the brakes, the rest of the drivetrain, tires, which ends up leading to wheels.
Okay, so let's talk suspension on this car. Stock, I've driven these things before. It's kind of more of a swimming than a driving in my opinion, and that could be said about many of these 60s era muscle cars. They were built to go in a straight line in a big hurry.
Yeah, a lot of time the car kind of controlled you. Nowadays, you need to control the car. You need to be safe in the car and be able to handle the car in any kind of situation.
So what did we choose for suspension?
We got AFCO double adjustable billet shocks all the way around. All the suspension parts are new, all the steering parts are new, upgraded sway bars, and then which pretty much leads to the brakes.
Brakes is something that people tend to overlook.
Brakes are commonly overlooked, yes.
You get all this power and then you got to figure out how to stop it. So in this case, I looked at this car. These are some sweet brakes in here.
Yeah, we got Willwood 4-piston disc brakes all the way around. And this car is going to stop on a dime now.
What else went into this? So we picked that motor, we got the suspension, we figured out how to stop it. What about feeding it fuel? Was the fuel system a consideration?
Fuel system's always an issue. You got to have the right size fuel system.
Not too big, not too little.
Exactly. That leads to choosing the right engine right away, so you can choose the right fuel system. Something too small is going to starve the engine for fuel, and you'll eventually blow the engine up. Something too large will create too much heat in your fuel system. It's going to basically affect your tune-up.
So if we're going to take it on cruise night or drive it or something like that, it could create problems with drivability.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Which is something that this car will probably do. We don't know. We're not sure who's going to get it yet. But it sounds like it's a pretty well-balanced package.
It's a very well-balanced package. It's very safe. It's very well done. And somebody's going to get very lucky getting this car.
Well, I appreciate you letting us have this behind-the-scenes look. And I can't wait to give it away to somebody.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun.